Do you love horror, science fiction, B-movies, horror hosts, old-time radio, just plain spooky stuff? Then you should sign up at patreon.com/Lord Blood-Rah. You'll be supporting the production of Lord Blood-Rah's Wrackin Theater, presenting the best, worst, and wildest horror films ever made. Lord Blood-Rah's Wrackin Auditorium, featuring the best of old-time radio horror. Captain Paxar's Star Cadet Hour, showing classic 1950s sci-fi shows for Star Cadets of all ages. Plus, you'll get exclusive access to bonus content like Behind the Curtains of the Wrackin Auditorium, a deep dive into radio horror, Lord Blood-Rah's B-movie reviews, a look at a classic low-budget drive-in feature, and much more. Sign up today at patreon.com/Lord Blood-Rah for the love of horror. I'm so glad you're here. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Lord Blood-Rah. I host horror and science fiction films on my TV series, Lord Blood-Rah's Wrackin Theater, but here, in this cool, intimate darkness, I'll be presenting tales of horror and the uncanny solely for you alone. You will coalesce the settings and the players from the ether of your imagination. Your terror will be your own creation. This is the sorcery of sound, the subtle magic of old-time radio, horror. At the door. You will not need them. This is Lord Blood-Rah's Wrackin Auditorium. When traveling, one never knows what one may encounter. Plans may be made, the route well mapped, but one never knows when the hour gets late and the eyelids get heavy. One never knows what one may encounter. Here is an example. From The Witch's Tale comes the story, Tourists Accommodated.
Witch's Tale. The fascination of the eerie. Weird, blood-chilling tales told by old Nancy, the witch of Salem, and Satan, a wise black cat. They are waiting for you. Now.
I be today. Yes, sir. 101 year old. Well, Satan, it's come time again for me and you to distribute a little sunshine and happiness over the radio. So we'll tell everyone to douse their lights and we'll get at it. That's it. Make it nice and dark and cheerful. Sitting in the gloom's the way to hear our bedtime stories. Now, draw up to the fire and gaze into the embers. Gaze into 'em deep, and soon you'll see a fine, smooth highway running through the prairie state of Kansas, driving along it through a night of pelting rain, you'll see a little automobile that's as old and battered-looking as the man and woman in it are young and fresh-looking. Listen slow and slow.
Oh, honey, we don't dare drive much longer in this rain. It's getting all over the road.
Yes, these old tires are worn so smooth they just don't grip. Oh, but gee, I hate to stop. I wanted to make at least another 100 miles tonight. I may find a job in Denver. The quicker we get there...
We'll make an extra 100 tomorrow in Deina. Well, our headlights aren't any better than the tires, Ken. And if we have an accident, there'll be no job in Denver or anywhere else.
All right, dear. There's a filling station. We need some gas, and I'll ask if there's a place near here where we can rent a room.
Funny, no one's come to meet us. Most people at tourist places rush to their doors when they hear a car drive up.
I'll ring the bell. That'll bring action. Where the dickens is it? Oh, I found it.
Ken, all the windows are covered with closed shutters.
What? We saw glass with lights behind it.
We were fooled about that sign being lighted, too.
I'm not subject to delusions, and neither are you. What on earth?
I don't know. I don't think anyone lives here. Everything about the place has a deserted look.
Well, this is the first house we came to on the right with tourist accommodated sign in front. That's what the garage man said.
I know, but no one answers the bell.
All right. No, I'm not crazy about the look of this place. I'd stop almost anywhere rather than drive through the rain.
So would I. Here, did you hear a bell ring inside when you pressed that button?
Why, I didn't notice. Golly, there isn't any sound when I press. Bell must be out of order. I'll knock. Gee, the door pushed open when I touched it.
Everything's dark inside. Either no one lives here or they're all asleep. I am here.
What?
And I am not sleeping.
I beg your pardon. I didn't mean to push open your door. I only started to knock.
That's all right. You are travelers who want a room?
Yes. This is my wife. We want to stay here until morning.
I accommodate tourists. Please come in.
Thank you.
Will you turn on the light first? I can't see anything beyond your door. I can only see a shadow of you. Light?
Yes, light.
There are some candles on the table here if you have a match.
Haven't you electricity?
We have no power for that.
You mean the power failed because of the storm?
Yes. The power failed. It must have done so just as we drove up. We were sure we saw lights behind your windows.
Yes, and you must have closed your shutters just as we drove up.
The shutters have been closed a long time.
Oh.
Light a match and get those candles going, Ken. Spooky talking in here in pitch darkness. Don't you think so, Miss Potter? But of course, you don't find it so in your own house. I have been here a long time in darkness. A long time in...
Darling, I can't find a match.
I have a packet. Here.
Oh, thanks. Now we'll locate those candles. Oh, I see them. Now.
Oh, that's better. Oh.
Good Lord.
You're disappointed in my house. You see it untidy and dusty. I'm sorry, but I cannot help it.
This hall looks as though it hasn't been cleaned for years.
I used to take such pride in my housekeeping. Everything was always spick and span. I'm so ashamed. I lack the power. You've been ill, haven't you? Your face is so pale. I've been helpless. So helpless. Please don't think my home was always this way.
The place is filthy, dear. We can't stay here.
It's at least shelter, Ken, and I'm afraid to drive on. Please don't go away. I have some nice, big, airy sleeping rooms, and you can have the best.
You look at them, Ken.
Oh, all right.
And you won't go away?
We'll stay with you tonight.
Mona, don't...
Oh, I'm so glad. I'll call my son. He'll show you where to put your car.
Your son?
I thought that...
Aren't you Miss Potter?
I'm Mrs. Parker.
Mrs. Parker?
I was sure the garage man said that...
So was I. But of course, he said a lot of things that don't tally with facts.
I don't understand.
No, it doesn't matter. If you'll call your son, he can help me get our bags, since Mrs. Blake has decided to remain here.
Just a moment. What's your charge for a room?
I used to get $1 for a couple.
$1?
But that doesn't matter now. I'll find my son. Joe! Oh, Joe! Only $1.
The way she said it, she'll take less.
For a place so badly kept, I'll see that she does.
She wouldn't stay here at any price if you left it to me.
I feel very sorry for that poor woman somehow.
Sorry? For anyone who lives in a pig pen? And why should we stay here because you're sorry?
I don't know. I just feel we ought to. I realize how silly I am. It's strange. The place doesn't merely look dusty and neglected. It's as though nobody lived here.
My son is coming to help you, mister. Joe'll be right here. He'll show you where to put your car.
Or let the car stay where it is. I'll get drenched to the skin if I move it.
But if you leave it in front of the door, he'll see it when he comes and be afraid to enter.
He will be afraid of my car. Who is he?
Yes, who's he?
Your car must be moved.
Huh? Oh,
this is my son, Joe.
Oh, how do you do? I didn't hear you come in. You startled me.
Me too. I'm sorry. I'll show you where to move your car, sir. You insist I move because you're expecting someone who won't come in if he sees my car where it is. Yes.
We're expecting him.
He'll come tonight. At last. You're being rather mysterious about this late caller. But it's none of my business, of course. I'll move the car.
My umbrella's in the back seat, Ken. It'll keep you from getting very wet.
All right, dear. I'll show you where to place the car. Well, come on.
Shall I show you your room now?
No, I'll wait until my husband comes back. Have your son been ill, too?
Ill?
His face is so pale, like yours. And you said that...
He has been helpless, as I have been.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's awful to be helpless.
I can imagine. What happened? Were you both in an accident?
No, we were just helpless.
I mean, what caused it?
We were helpless. Helpless then, so long after, so long. But now our helplessness is nearly at an end.
You mean you're almost well now?
Tonight will change everything.
Tonight? Oh, Ken?
Yes, just to the skin. After making me drive my car in among the trees, son of yours, Mrs. Parker, wouldn't even help me carry these suitcases back here. Now he doesn't even close the door behind me. I've got to do it.
Oh, Ken, Mrs. Parker's son's been very sick. She's just been telling me about it.
Oh. Why didn't you say so? But even a sick man could have held an umbrella over me while I did the heavy work. I'm sorry. I couldn't even do that.
Helpless. Helpless.
Say, didn't you get wet walking through that downpour? Your clothes looked drier when we left this room. My clothes don't show any effects of what they've been through. Excuse me. Good night.
I'll show you to your room now. Will you bring the candles, please?
Why, of course.
I'll carry them, Ken. You bring the bags.
Okay, dear.
Up these stairs. Please go first, young woman.
All right.
You next. I'll follow.
All right.
You may have any room, but the first at the head of the stairs is the best. It's mine.
Oh, we wouldn't put you out of your room.
I don't sleep in it now. Open the door and go right in.
Oh, everything's covered with dust, just as it is downstairs.
I know. But I can't help it. It's a nice, airy room.
Airy because half the window panes are broken. If it weren't for those closed shutters, the rain would be pouring in.
I'm so ashamed.
The bed linen under this outside spread's clean, Ken. Awfully yellow.
We can't stay here, Mona.
Wait. How much will you charge us for this, Mrs. Parker?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Nothing.
I just want you here tonight. Someone must be here besides Joe and me. And him.
Him?
I don't know what.
You will know soon. You'll stay?
It won't cost us anything, Ken. And every dollar counts.
But Mona.
We'll stay, Mrs. Parker.
Oh, thank you. You're a nice girl. I'll leave you now. Good night.
Good night.
Good.
Mona.
Close that door, Ken. Close that door, lock it.
Of course, dear. What on earth is the matter?
Didn't you see, Ken? Didn't you see as she went out of the door?
See what?
She passed in front of that lighted candle, between me and the candle, and I saw the lighted candle through her.
You couldn't have seen what you thought you did, sweetheart. You realize that now, don't you?
Oh, of course. One can't see lighted candles through solid bodies, and, well, Mrs. Parker's is as solid as yours or mine. Oh, I'm ashamed of myself for becoming hysterical about such a silly thing. Oh, but for a moment, the most awful feeling of horror passed over me. Oh, I was desperately afraid.
It's all right now. This filthy old house that's giving you the willies, honey. It'd start my imagination going if I left it. It looks as though it ought to be haunted.
Oh, I'm almost sorry that we stayed here, even to save a dollar.
We'll get a few hours sleep and leave as soon as daylight comes.
Yes. You locked the door, didn't you?
Uh-huh.
Is the lock good and strong?
An iron bolt as thick as my thumb. What are you still afraid of, darling? That frail little woman, her sickly-looking son. I could break both of them in two with one hand at the same time.
No, I'm not afraid of them. I wonder who they're expecting.
I've been thinking about that. They were afraid he'd go away if he saw our car outside.
Why, do you suppose?
I haven't the vaguest idea. I think I'd like to wash my hands and face. Wonder where the bathroom is.
She didn't tell us.
I'll go look.
Wait, I hear a car outside.
Maybe the expected guest.
A coupe's coming up the drive. I can see it through the crack in the shutter.
Stop where we left our bus first.
Man's going out.
A big fella.
Yes. And the key for the door must be a member of the family.
They're so anxious about his coming, you'd think one of them would be on the lookout and let him in.
Think so. If he's the one they expect.
Got the door open?
Oh, we're an awful set of busybodies, spying on the poor man.
Yes. Kind of silly.
He's going back to the car, taking the bag out.
He turned his headlights off now. We can't see any longer.
No, not that it matters to us.
I'm going to look for the bathroom.
I'll go with you. I don't want to be alone here.
All right. Say, she didn't leave any towels here.
Don't see any. Maybe she left them in the bathroom for us.
Maybe.
Open the door softly. She and the boy may have gone to bed.
I think they were going to wait up for that man.
We haven't heard their voices.
They may have gone to bed at that. Here goes the door.
What's that?
Someone downstairs isn't afraid of waking anybody. Come on.
Where?
To ask whoever's down there about towels in that bathroom. No. Wait. What? Look.
The man we saw come in. He's kneeling before that fireplace with a lantern.
Trying to pry a stone loose from the hearth. Why?
He stopped. I think he hears us.
Get back up those stairs quiet.
Yes. Oh.
Down that creaking board. Who's there? Who's there? I see you.
Don't want that, Jonathan.
Don't shoot.
You were waiting for me here, were you, eh? Thought I'd come back when I got the chance, and you'd get me with that goods at last, eh? Well, you won't tell no one of what you've seen.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Put that gun down.
There he is. Come there, you rotten cop, with your hands held high.
Don't shoot. My husband isn't a policeman.
And I suppose you are not a lady thick either, eh? Come down.
Neither of us have anything to do with the police. We don't know why you're here, and we don't care. We're merely two strangers who rented a room here for the night.
Rented a room.
Yes, you know this is a tourist lodging house. You must. You had a key to the door.
The key I have means I know you are lying. This house belongs to me. I inherited it. No tourist or anyone else has stopped here since I was took away to jail. For 5 long years, this place has been dead empty.
The little woman let us in tonight.
You lie.
Call her and her son. They'll tell you.
A woman? And a son, you say?
Yes.
Mrs. Parker, come and tell this man.
Mrs. Parker, she wasn't here. She couldn't be here.
I'm here now.
Oh, no, I'm still dead.
I'm here, too.
They're not helpless now.
And you've come back to us at last.
Get away from me. Oh, yeah. I got the gun. If they come any closer, I'll shoot.
We have weapons, too.
You're old weapon.
Get away.
There's a butcher's knife, Ken.
And the boy has a bloody axe.
Don't come any closer. Don't come any closer with him. Get away. Get away.
There's a boy.
His bullets don't stop them.
He's raising that awful knife.
The boy has hit him with an axe.
For God's sake, stop that butchery.
Oh, they're hacking him to bits.
Help, mother.
Mother, look.
I can't. They've killed him.
Don't look at him, look at them.
They're fading away.
Yes. Fading from our sight like ghosts.
That's what they are. Ghosts.
Come away from this house.
Yes, out of this awful house. Out of this awful house.
We can rest now, Mother.
Yes, Joe. We can rest.
Parker sure did. Like you said, I'd find him, Mr. Blake, but you can see for yourself there ain't no mark of butcher's knife or axe on his body. I didn't expect there would be, Sheriff.
Neither did I.
What's your opinion of Hutch's demise, Doc?
No wounds of any sort on the body I can see. Near as I can figure before holding an autopsy. The fellow's heart just stopped.
It stopped from fear and terror, as ours almost did when we realized what we'd seen.
Now, sober-minded men like me and Doc here are pretty hard to convince that ghosts killed Hutch, Mrs. Blake.
I know, but we've told you the truth about what we saw.
Doc, are you sober-minded as I think you are?
Pretty much like you, Dan.
Then let's be honest and confess these young folks in confidence that we don't think their story so crazy as it sounds. You believe that...
We hold the political jobs, young man, and the voters expect us to have good sense. But in confidence, we're chumps enough to, well, not to altogether disbelieve.
I'll tell you the part of the Parker story you don't know. Lucy Parker, whom you think you saw tonight, used to run a tourist rooming house business here and prided herself on keeping one of the tidiest places in the state. She was the widow Stevens at the time I speak of and changed her name to Parker later. Her son Joe was a trusted employee of the bank over in town. Hutch Parker drifted along one day from nobody knows where, met this widow woman with a nice home and income, and talked herself into becoming her second husband. From the day she married him, he never did a tap of work, and gossip was that he and her and Joe didn't get along so well together. That went on for a couple of years. Then, 5 years ago, Mrs. Parker and her son was found dead in their beds. Joe's head had been bashed in with an axe, and his mother had been stabbed with a butcher's knife. They was killed in their sleep while helpless. Oh, I recall you telling me how whatever you saw here dwelt on that word, helpless. Well, Hutch was immediately suspected of the crime and arrested. But there was a peculiar angle of the case. Joe had been in possession of $50,000 worth of negotiable bonds belonging to his bank that he's supposed to close a deal with the morning he was found dead. And them bonds couldn't be located.
That stone Parker was trying to pry from the fireplace.
I found the bonds under that stone a minute ago, Mr. Blake, just before I called you and Mrs. Blake into this conversation. Hutch had done a first-class job of hiding them, for this house had been searched from cellar to garret. But to make a long story short, not finding the bonds sort of helped Hutch's case.
He claimed burglars had killed his wife and stepson and then got away with the 50,000. And the darn fool jury believed him. They acquitted him of the charge of murder, and he'd have gone scot-free if the police back in Ohio hadn't heard of his arrest and found that his fingerprints tallied with those of a fella they wanted on an old forgery charge. They sent him to the pen in Ohio, and he only got out a few days ago. He hot-footed it back to this house where the bonds was hid and found Lucy and Joe waiting. They weren't so easy with him as the law had been. But, of course, they know that he was guilty.
And they made his punishment fit his crime.
They couldn't open the door or light a candle. But they could kill him.
Mm-hmm. And they could also do you a good turn. They did one for you.
Good turn?
Yeah. Lucy and her boy wanted them bonds returned to their rightful owner, I imagine, which you will bring about. And the banks kept a reward offer standing of $5,000 for their return.
You mean we'll get $5,000?
Yeah.
Ken!
No.
Well, it'll take a couple of days for the details to be settled, but your claim's clear and you'll get the money. In the meantime, I suggest that you put up at Miss Potter's place.
Miss Potter?
Yeah. She runs a first-class rooming house about 3 miles down the road from here. First place on the right with a tourist accommodated sign in front.
Sheriff, we never want to look at that kind of a sign again.
Not even for $5,000.
Well, that's the end of that cheerful bedtime story, Satan. And next week, I'm going to have a birthday and another yarn to spin ye.
One never knows what one will encounter on the road. Storms, old inns with rooms to rent, angry spirits patiently waiting to wreak their revenge. Thank you for joining me in the Wrackin Auditorium, and I hope you'll come again. But now it's time for you to rejoin the, real world. I am Lord Blood-Rah, and I'll be waiting here for you in the shadows of your mind until the next time you seek the darkness. Good night.